next one is the big one. This one, the Blu-ray of Suspiria. This is the Synapse Films release. This is the limited edition that was released, I think, a few months ago or last year. Really stellar release. Nice steelbook. Yes. Look at that. You've got the film on one disc, you have special features on another, and then you have the soundtrack. Excuse me, the film, the special features, and the soundtrack, which is on the back here. This is a wonderful release. I think I'm more of a fan of the film as it's presented here than the special features. I like the special features, don't get me wrong, but it really is about the film. This is an amazing 4K restoration. This film is just, what can you say about the classic that is Suspiria? I remember when I saw this film for the first time, oh gosh, I must have been maybe I was too young to have seen this. I must have been about maybe 10 or 11 or so. That's too young to watch a film like Suspiria. It just I was crying. I was crying, and it wasn't even like 10 minutes into the movie, and I was just crying. It was so scary and traumatizing. But now I realize that it's just a masterpiece. I mean, the first 10 minutes, I think, are just stellar. You just can't beat it. Probably the first 10 minutes are probably the best thing that Dario Argento's ever done. By the way, here's another release of Suspiria. This is the Region B Cult Films release. I've seen it. I haven't been able to compare them side by side. By eyeing it, I would say that they're about equal, although I would give preference to this. I would rely more on, more expert opinions like those from, say, DVDbeaver.com instead of from my experience. Although this seems to have more special features than this. But as I said, you're getting this film not necessarily for the special features, but for the film itself. So on that respect, I think they're both pretty equal, on equal footing. Okay, so the next one that I have is, yes, the single release from Arrow, Inferno. There you go. So you had Suspiria first, and after that came Inferno. So in Suspiria introduced this idea of witches and this idea of a witch's coven and the horror that is generated from that concept. Here you have the idea of expanding the mythos, introducing this idea of the three mothers. It feels at times to be attempting to retroactively expand the mythos that was hinted at in Suspiria. It makes direct references to Suspiria, although not really. It feels like a sequel, although it is its own film. And nowadays, we understand that this and one more film form a sort of trilogy called the Three Mothers Trilogy. That being each film dealing with one witch of the three, sort of triumvirate of I think they're sisters, sister witches that are supposed to be the most evil beings on the planet, I suppose. So Mater Suspiriorum, Mater Tenebrarum, and one more, Mater Lacrimarum, in another film, which I don't have, and I don't really like the third mother. Or Mother of Tears, as it's known in English. I really don't like that film. But with all that said, here is the second mother, Inferno. Really interesting film. I think it's a film that grows on you. I remember I first saw it, I didn't like it. And the second time I watched it, I liked it a little bit more. And then the third time, I liked it even more. And I watched it again and again. And now it is a masterpiece in my mind. It is truly scary, frightening. There are so many scary set pieces. Yeah, there's a, just thinking about it just gives me the shivers. But there's a scene, and I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but for those of you who know, there's a scene with one of the characters and a window frame. It's so frightening just thinking about. And there's like the scene with like rats and a really kick-ass score. Really excellent music. Keith Emerson. Anyway, Inferno. This is also a fantastic Dario Argento film. Very quiet, at least compared to the bombast of Suspiria, but really creepy, eerie, illogical. It makes no sense at times, but it doesn't have to be effective. And this one is very effective indeed. Next is Tenebrae. This is a masterpiece. This is a down and dirty giallo. It is cold-blooded. It is ruthless, and it is razor sharp. It is Dario Argento at his finest. He knows exactly what he's doing. Wonderful, wonderful film. I love the plot of this film. It is so clever what it does, how it creates expectations in your mind and then dashes them with a bloody stroke. It is truly a masterpiece. This happens to be, yes, a double disc here. Oh, sorry, there's a Blu-ray and there's a DVD with some of the usual, insert paraphernalia. Nothing too fancy. It's not a limited edition box, but it is great. It is a masterpiece, and it is very violent, extremely violent. It's not recommended for everyone, but for those who know it, you probably love it. I've never met anyone who doesn't like this film. It is one of my favorites, I'd say, Tenebrae. Next is the box from Arrow. This is Phenomena. This is the limited edition box, and what makes this really interesting is that it has 2 discs in it. And when I say 2 discs, I don't mean 2 discs in one case. I mean 2 clamshells here. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? So let's look at this one. So this is Phenomena. So you've got Phenomena, and you've got here the international version, and you've got Phenomena, the Italian version. Now, I didn't even know this before I got this box, but apparently there is the international version, which is 110 minutes, and you've got the Italian version, which is 116 minutes. But not only that, you've got this version too, which is the American version, Creepers. This is 83 minutes. Yes. Yes, and then so when you open it up, you have the Creepers cut, and you also have a bonus soundtrack CD. This is a film for me. On the one, sometimes I love it, sometimes I don't like it. I really sort of vacillate between those 2 poles. I forgot before this is the booklet that comes with the limited edition. Really nice, really robust. Yeah, it's tough with me and Phenomena. I like some parts of it very much, and there are some parts I don't like at all. I think I'm at the point now where I'm starting to warm to it, and I like the concepts. I like how it's very. If you want to talk about films that defy logic, this one I think takes the cake. There are things in there that just, all right, I didn't see that coming, but okay, I'll go along for the ride. And if you have that attitude and you submit yourself to the film, and you submit yourself to the film's, interior logic, as it were, I think you can have a good time with this. Anyway, phenomena.